This is a Sports Catastrophe production. Hey there, it's Jeff Cutter, and welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, Valentine's Day, February the 14th, is kind of a sweetheart if you're a Patriots fan. Before Tom Brady stepped in and stomped on his confidence. Anyway, he played for Washington State in college. He played for the Pats from 93 to 2001. Under this quarterback, the Pats ended a postseason drought. Got to the playoffs 4 times, got 2 division titles, and went to Super Bowl 31 in a loss. However, his major injury in Week 2 of the 2001 season cost him dearly, as the Patriots would ride Tom Brady's success. Bledsoe would, I guess I have to say it, it's Drew Bledsoe. Drew Bledsoe is now 50 years old, so he's at the big golden mark, 50. So Drew Bledsoe played for Washington State University, having a great record-setting career. He was the face of the Cougars' offense. In 1992, his final year, he got Washington State to the Copper Bowl. I know that doesn't really exist anymore, but I think it's defunct. I don't think it... What did it land? Well, it was the tournament. It was the one in Tucson, Arizona. But anyway, the Copper Bowl, and got to rank number 10 in the coaches poll for win over Utah. So he established a lot of Washington State records that Mark Rippon, former Cougar and Canadian, didn't do. So Bledsoe decided to skip his senior season and go to the NFL draft. He looked good. The 93 NFL draft, the Pats, who were suffering. Remember, there was a time that the Pats really were bad, and that was 3 decades ago. Bledsoe was given the first overall pick by the Pats. Seattle got number 2 pick and took Rick Meyer. And for a little bit, it looked like Meyer was the better pick. However, the 94 season, in his sophomore year in the NFL, he was on fire. The Patriots were 3-6 headed to their home game against the Minnesota Vikings. Down 23 at halftime, it looked like all but over. But Bledsoe, for some reason, led the team to a massive comeback, in which they scored 23 unanswered points to win in overtime, and set the NFL record for most completions and attempts in a game, and I think that still exists. So it was 45 for 70. And the funny thing about the Patriots was that win made them 4-6. They finished 10-6. They won their last 6 games to sneak into the wild card round, taking out the Miami Dolphins, who started 9-2 and couldn't finish the job. And of course, Miami did get a little bit gypped by a touchdown call that should have been called a touchdown, but no instant replay. So Pats would lose to Cleveland in the wild card game 20-13, but he still looked good. Bledsoe turned it around in the 96 season, helping the Pats get to the Super Bowl by beating the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC title game 20-6. Of course, their appearance in the Super Bowl was made easy as Jacksonville shocked Denver, who were looking like giving Elway a title. Anyhow, they went to Super Bowl 31 and lost to the Packers 35-21. Unfortunately, Bledsoe threw not 1, not 2, but 4 interceptions in the loss. So anyway, Bledsoe did okay and all that. In the 98 season, he became the first NFL quarterback to get game-winning touchdown passes in the final 30 seconds of 2 straight games, giving the Pats a chance to be in the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year. Unfortunately, though, he had a broken index finger on his throwing hand and couldn't play in the postseason. In the 99 season, the Pats were 6-2. They looked good, with Bledsoe throwing 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. However, subsequently, Bledsoe just couldn't throw the ball. He threw 17 interceptions, and the team was 8-8. Bledsoe somehow was signed to a 10-year deal in 2001 with the Pats, even though that the team was not doing that well. So anyway, in Week 2 of the 2001 season, well, of course, not the true Week 2, because that Week 2 got canceled because of 9/11. Bledsoe was getting near the sideline when Mo Lewis of the Jets leveled him with a hard but clean hit. Bledsoe was about to dive for first down, but Sean Ellis clipped Bledsoe's ankles. resulting in Lewis hitting Bledsoe when he was standing straight up. Bledsoe seemed to have a concussion, so Tom Brady had to come into the game to finish it up, and the Pats did lose that game. Bledsoe was examined by the team doctor and sent to the hospital. There was something wrong because his heart was racing. Because concussed people have their heart rates fall off dramatically. But Bledsoe was rushed to the hospital, but Lewis's hit sheared a blood vessel in his chest, causing a hemothorax that actually had him bleeding a pint of blood an hour. Thankfully, though, he recovered, and Brady took the starting job and led the Pats to the playoffs. Bledsoe would never regain his starting role. Although Brady got hurt in the AFC title game against Pittsburgh, so he came off the bench and gave the Pats the 14-3 lead heading into halftime. The Pats won the game 24-17. And the upset was complete. The Pats were going to the Super Bowl against the Rams. Now the question was, who was going to start, Bledsoe or Brady? This was a big quarterback controversy and all that. Bledsoe seemed to be good and all that. But Tom Brady did start at quarterback. Pats won Super Bowl 36 on the last second field goal by Vinatieri. People wonder if Bledsoe had started that game for the Pats, would they have beaten the Rams? Probably not. Bledsoe and Brady would have been a big quarterback problem. So the Pats did the easy solution. They traded Bledsoe and his contract to Buffalo. However, Patriots fans would appreciate Bledsoe's tenure with the team and didn't boo him when he came back as a visiting player. So Bledsoe felt rejuvenated for Buffalo in the 2002 season, putting up 4,300 plus yards and 24 touchdowns and getting to the Pro Bowl. The Bills started off 2-0 and looked good. However, injuries would stymie the Bills' offense, and they fell to 6-10. Buffalo choked in 2004 with the chance of the playoffs on the line. They lost to Pittsburgh at home with the fact that the Steelers were resting all their players. Were resting their best players because they were in that 15-1 season. Bledsoe was released by the Bills to make way for J.P. Lossman to be the starter. Brutal mistake. It was bitter. I mean, Bledsoe signed with the Cowboys, where he was reunited with Bill Parcells. Bledsoe was supposed to be a long-term solution for the Cowboys and all of that. He signed for a 3-year, $23 million contract. He ended up throwing for over 3,000 yards with the Cowboys in the year. Bledsoe actually got Dallas to a 97 mark, but they failed to make the playoffs. In his final season with the Cowboys in 2006, Bledsoe's play was erratic. He was replaced by Tony Romo, who helped the Cowboys make the playoffs. Bledsoe would then be released. And Bledsoe did not want to be a backup, so he said, screw it, I'm retiring. And he did in 2007. Bledsoe was 5th in attempts and completions at the time of his retirement. But obviously, that was past. Bledsoe was voted into the Patriots Hall of Fame in 2011. And Bledsoe was honorary captain of the Pats when they hosted the AFC title game against Jacksonville in 2018. So, anyway. Drew and his wife live in Oregon and have 4 children, Stuart, John, Henry, and Healy. John Bledsoe actually was a walk-on for the Washington State Cougars in 2017. And Bledsoe has a growing wine business and all that. And will move to Walla Walla, Washington, once their youngest child graduates from high school. Bledsoe was a great player for the Pats. In 194 games in his career with the Pats, Bills, and Cowboys, he won 98 games. He threw 44,611 yards, 251 touchdowns, but 206 interceptions. That's not really a smart move. And postseason-wise, he was 3-3. Not really that good, but whatever. Yeah, his 70 pass attempts is still a record. I thought his completions were a record for a single game. When was that taken out? I don't know about that. So in Buffalo, his first season, he set single season records for yards, attempts, completions, which is sacrilege because Jim Kelly deserves those records. So anyway, it's just amazing all of that. Bledsoe actually holds the record for most touchdown passes in overtime with 4. So that's good. Bledsoe is in the Hall of Fame, I think, right? Is he in the Hall of Fame? Bledsoe is not in the Hall of Fame. So Drew Bledsoe is not in the NFL Hall of Fame. Kind of a crime, don't you think? Well, whatever. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.